Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another review. This time around, I'm going to be doing a review for Star Wars, episode the original Star Wars actually. So that'd be episode 4, A New Hope. So yeah, now I'm going to title this just Star Wars movie review because that's how it was promoted when it originally came out. I know still some of the promotions had A New Hope or whatever. I really don't know much about the promotions back then. I'm gonna call this as it originally was, a Star Wars movie review, or from the original trilogy. So yeah, this movie stars Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford and a few other people, but which I can't really search up right now due to bad internet. So those are the only, and Mark Hamill, and those are the only three people I know off the top of my head who are actually in this movie. And I really wanted to talk about this. Normally I wait so I could watch the full cast, see who's in it, but this is actually a movie I really want to talk about. So yeah. Before I begin though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual. For those of you that actually watched the movie and haven't already, stop the video, go check it out, and then come back here and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up. So for those of you to actually watch the movie and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me. Then never give you a fair warning, because as usual, I did. So yeah, as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate. Hopefully IMDb opens up soon, so I can look at the official cast. Just to make sure. Who else is in it? So yeah, basically in this, I was about to say episode. Basically in this movie, you have Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, I believe. Yeah, you have. Sorry, you have Luke Skywalker, and he's basically starts finding out how do I say this? You have Luke Skywalker, who one day him and his dad or uncle they somehow managed to come across C-3PO and R2-D2. C-3PO and R2-D2 are robots who were originally owned by Princess Leia, and Leia's in this whole coup, so to speak. She's in this whole rebellion situation, in which she's trying to overthrow the Dark Lord, which is Darth Vader. C-3PO and R2-D2 managed to escape, and now they have to try to find Obi-Wan Kenobi. They first off to find Luke. They just happened to find Luke by chance. And now they're on the hunt for Obi-Wan Kenobi. They find Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi brings everybody up to speed. They go off to find Harrison Ford and Chewbacca, which is pretty funny. So they could get a ride to this planet, which Darth Vader later destroys later in the film. And then you basically have Harrison Ford, Chewbacca, Luke, R2, C-3PO, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they basically infiltrate one of Darth Vader's Death Stars, I believe, or the Death Star. Sorry, they managed to infiltrate that, get Princess Leia back, and now they have to go back and try to destroy the Death Star. And one of the coolest scenes in movie and sci-fi and movie history, for that matter. There, yeah, definitely one of the best movies ever made. Definitely one of the best movies ever made. Also one of the best sci-fi movies ever made, for sure. Normally my go-to sci-fi movies, I will admit that I do like Back to the Future more. But this is still a pretty great film franchise, and this is still a pretty good film. Despite the fact that I do like Back to the Future a little bit more than Star Wars, just because it is a bit more fun. It still is up to par with Back to the Future. And I know it's really weird for me to say that, because many people from what I've seen and heard like Star Wars, or say Star Wars is the best sci-fi movie franchise ever. That will probably get to, and that one depends what you consider part of the Star Wars franchise. Do you include the prequels in there or not? Who knows? So yeah, overall, it was a fantastic movie. For its time, the special effects. Usually when it comes to older movies, one of the first things I want to touch upon is the special effects. Now, the special effects they are aged. They are aged at times. The art times where the special effects are obviously where they are really badly aged, in my opinion. However, at the same time, there's a lot of scenes where the special effects are still quality and up to par to special effects of this time. A little bit less better than the ones we have right now, but they can still hold up. So there are times where the special effects aren't so good, but however, there are shots of the special effects where it's just incredible. For example, when they're trying to destroy the Death Star, that still looks pretty cool, even with the special effects from back then. And even for the time back then, the special effects were quality, and up until that point, they were some of the best special effects ever seen. So, normally I don't complain much about the special effects unless they're really bad, even for their time, and even for their time, they're actually incredible. So I will give it points for that. It was really well. It's still pretty great special effects in my opinion. So yeah, the action scenes also benefit a lot from the special effects, in my opinion. And even the action scenes where it doesn't really have the special effects, or just close to none, because they're either with the lightsabers or the shooters, the gun laser shooters. Still pretty well done. And actually the sound mixing and sound editing, something I normally don't, that's something normally I don't pay attention to when it comes to the sound editing and sound mixing. But here, it's something I really didn't notice because, it's just like, pew, 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 and it kind of feels like video games, the sound effects. At times they do kind of sound a bit video game-ish. But at the time, they didn't really have video games that had that type of sound, so it's still pretty good in my opinion. The acting and the writing are great for what it was, and I really did like the rebellion, how they started to develop the rebellion. Now there was this one scene which there's in the one I watched, the Star Wars I watched. There's this one scene where you have Harrison Ford and he's talking to Jabba the Hutt. Now, apparently that scene, it's about a 2-minute scene. Apparently that scene wasn't in the original Star Wars viewing when it originally came out all the way back in the 70s. I want to say 1978, but I can't really check. I want to say 1978, but I'm not completely sure. Correct me down below, just in case. So yeah, apparently that scene wasn't in the original one, and they added it later on, like for the special, for like the DVDs and the Blu-rays and whatnot, and even when you stream it online, that scene is still there. And apparently I didn't notice at first, so I was reading looking and reading reviews on, and then that's how I found out. So my thoughts specifically on that scene, I mean, really, in my opinion, it just gave us a bit more of who Harrison Ford's character was, but I think there are many people who like it because it does develop the Harrison Ford's character a bit more. But some people don't like it because, you want to have the mystery between Jabba the Hutt. So either way, I'm not really going to give my opinion on that. I see both ways. For me, I really don't care because I've never actually seen it without that scene. So, yeah. Overall, it is a fantastic movie. Really well written, in my opinion. Really well acted. The special effects, for the most part, still hold up to par. Actually, the special effects for Jabba the Hutt are actually also pretty cool, to say the least. I mean, yeah. Overall, it is a great movie. It's a masterpiece. That's all it is. It is a masterpiece. If you want to complain about anything, the special effects is the only real thing. The special effects and the one scene with Jabba the Hutt are maybe the only two things you could complain about in this movie. The special effects maybe because they do feel a bit aged, and then that one scene mostly because it depends on when, what are your thoughts on the Star Wars when it originally came out. For me, I really have no opinion on that scene. The special effects at times they do look aged, but overall they do look good. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of sick. God damn it. Overall, it is fantastic. It is fantastic. So yeah, and I didn't realize this up until this time I viewed it, but Yoda wasn't in it. I just realized that for some reason right now. I've watched this movie so many times, and I just realized that Yoda's wasn't even in this movie. Don't know how that flew past me. I don't know. But whatever. I know Yoda's in the next movie. And Darth Vader, he's a fantastic villain, really fantastic villain. But yeah, but I think for him, for his introduction to this movie was pretty well done. It was pretty good. He did have a pretty good arc, but I think after this movie, he has better story arcs and better character arcs. So yeah, everything about the movie is a masterpiece. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I'd have to give this a 1. Nope. I'm not shit. I'd be crazy if I gave this a 1. Yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a 1 out of 10. Said nobody. Yeah, for real. I'm gonna give, in all honesty, 10 out of 10 is what I'm gonna give Star Wars. Cause yeah, if you give this anything less than if you give this movie anything less than a 6 out of 10, anything less than decent, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. Now, because I have seen reviews where people do try to pick this movie apart and call it decent. But I really haven't heard anything negative below like a 6 out of 10 or whatever. Seriously. I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect movie. Yeah, it's basically for my thoughts on the movie. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below your thoughts on the movie. Like the videos, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.